Forget New Year, New You. This season is about slowing down, locking the doors, and cozying up at home with the one you really want to do nothing with. Your dog. After the holiday chaos, those quiet nights with a blanket, a podcast, and your pup feel like the reset you actually need. Ollie helps make those moments easier with fresh protein-packed meals made from real human-grade ingredients, so your dog can enjoy some quality comfort food too. Choose from 5 recipes and get a personalized plan for your dog's needs. Meals arrive perfectly proportioned with a scoop and storage container, so serving is fast and mess-free. And with Ollie's in-app on-demand health screenings, supporting your dog is easy, ensuring more cuddles for many years to come. Visit ollie.com/truecrime and use code TRUECRIME for 60% off your first box.
Hey everyone, just a disclaimer before I start this episode. You may have noticed in the last episode, and you will certainly notice in this one, my voice is a little off. That's due to some congestion I'm experiencing during this pregnancy. I'm doing everything I can to maintain my voice, but I hope you can tolerate it in the meantime. Thank you so much for your patience. At about 4:30 a.m. on July 12, 2020, Los Angeles police responded to reports of gunfire in the Hollywood Hills. They stopped a Cadillac Escalade and ordered 2 men and 2 women out. The women were dressed in bathing suits. One of the men wore just shorts. They had just left a pool party. In police footage obtained by TMZ, the first woman walks out of the car, leaving a trail of what looks like blood in her footprints. When ordered to the ground, she stumbles into a sitting position, her legs curled, as the light of a police helicopter bears down on her.
Megan, are you okay? You okay?
At that moment, the woman seated on the ground had 2 songs on Billboard's Hot 100. A new single had just debuted at number 28, and a collaboration with Beyoncé was at number 4. She was rapper Megan Thee Stallion. One of the men who exited the vehicle and was laying on the road with his hands spread as ordered was also a hip-hop artist. Tory Lanez had landed 5 albums in the top 5 of the Billboard album charts. That night, he was arrested on charges of carrying a concealed firearm. Megan told police she had stepped on glass. She was transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. According to the medical report, she gave the ER staff the same explanation. She was at a party, heard a loud noise, and in the commotion that followed, stepped on broken glass. However, an orthopedic surgeon removed 3 bullet fragments from her feet. Megan Thee Stallion would later give her reasons for lying to police and doctors. But for months, it wasn't clear to fans what had happened that night. The arrest of one hip-hop star and the serious injury of another filled Twitter feeds and gossipy websites. The following month, on August 20th, on her Instagram live feed, Megan publicly accused Tory Lanez of shooting her.
Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying.
On October 8th, the Los Angeles County District Attorney charged Tory Lanez with assault, alleging that he had fired a semi-automatic handgun at Megan.
Rapper Tory Lanez has been charged with shooting artist Megan Thee Stallion during an argument. The DA's office says Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood Hills July 12th.
This is CBS Los Angeles.
He now faces 2 felony charges and is set to be arraigned Tuesday in L.A. If convicted, he faces up to 23 years in prison.
To a prosecutor, it may have initially seemed like a simple case. Megan had been shot in front of 2 witnesses. Tory had a gun, one that detectives said was warm to the touch when they found it. But before this case ever made it to a jury, it would be complicated by several factors, including escalating feuds playing out over social media, and two women's potential embarrassment about their attraction to a man who they later claimed assaulted them. More on that later. Some said that in the trial of Tory Lanez, misogyny in the multi-billion-dollar hip-hop industry was on trial, while others claimed the women were downright lying about what had happened. Would the truth come out at trial? This is Jillian, and in partnership with Law and Crime, you are listening to Court Junkie, episode 227. According to a feature Vulture.com did on Megan Thee Stallion in 2019, she was born Megan Pete on February 15, 1995. She was raised in Houston, Texas, and she's a second-generation rapper. Her mother, Holly Thomas, recorded under the name Hollywood. This is Megan on the syndicated radio show, The Breakfast Club.
So my mom was a rapper, and like every day after school, and when she would get off work, I would see her in her room writing and stuff, and then she would be like going to the studio, and I'll be in the little waiting room, and I'm pretty sure she thought I was in there doing like little kid stuff, but I'll be like listening at the door like, oh, okay, yeah. And I really thought it was normal. I kind of low-key thought everybody's mama was doing that.
Megan wrote lyrics as a child. As a teenager, she attended cyphers, collaborative freestyling sessions with other young Houston area rappers. She started uploading videos of herself rapping. Her mom was often holding the camera. Megan's videos got traction online, but her mother insisted she shouldn't pursue music professionally until she turned 21. Megan enrolled at Prairie View A&M University in 2013 and continued uploading music. By 2017, her combined Twitter and Instagram followings exceeded 150,000. According to a profile in Houstonia magazine. On SoundCloud, some of her top songs had been played more than 700,000 times. Megan's style was fast, confident, and raunchy. She had a statuesque physique and wardrobe of high heels, skin-tight clothing, and flashy jewelry. In videos, her hair, her nails, and even her eyelashes were seamless. In just a few years, Megan Thee Stallion rose to the top of the music industry. In 2018, she signed to a Houston label. A year later, she first cracked both the pop and hip-hop charts with her song Big Ol' Freak. Her rhyming skills led to glowing reviews in The Source, Pitchfork, Billboard, and even the New York Times. Rappers who already reached superstar status, like Chance the Rapper and Nicki Minaj, collaborated with her. Here she is backstage at the 2019 BET Awards.
That was just amazing. Like, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe, in the category that it is, like best female hip-hop artist, like that's insane. So to even be considered, I'm just like grateful.
In 2020, she signed to Jay-Z's label Rock Nation and released a song with Beyoncé. By the middle of 2020, Megan Thee Stallion had placed 5 songs in the Billboard Top 40, including the #1 hit Savage, which was the subject of a viral dance on TikTok. But unbeknownst to many, throughout her rise to fame, Megan was processing grief. Her mother died from brain cancer in March of 2019. Her grandmother died the same month. This is her talking about that on Instagram Live.
This year, I lost my mom and my grandmother in the same month. And although all these positive things have been happening to me, and I've been trying to do good, been trying to keep a smile on my face, you know, trying to stay strong, trying to stay happy for me and my other grandmother and the rest of my family. It's pretty rough. It's pretty hard. This is the first Christmas that I'm ever going to spend without them.
Megan met Tory Lanez at the Rock Nation brunch in January of 2020. It's an annual pre-Grammy soiree hosted by Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Tory and Megan began spending time together. That spring, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, when their only contact with the public was through social media, the two started showing up on each other's Instagram lives.
She bad as it get. Okay, Tory, for real, stop playing.
I'm doing what you doing.
Okay, to the front, to the left, then throw it, okay?
You ready?
Why you not throwing it?
Tory was 27 at the time, but he had already released 4 proper albums and more than a dozen mixtape compilations of rough material. He was born Daystar Peterson on July 27, 1992, in Brampton, Ontario. His parents were missionary preachers. Here he is on the YouTube channel Hard Knock TV.
That means that, they traveled around the world. They weren't like stationary preachers or anything like that. But they would travel around the world and speak and heal people and do all this crazy stuff. And it was 6 of us, same mom, same dad, 2 sisters, 4 boys in total, so 6. And our house was pretty full.
His mother died when he was 11, leading to a personality shift. He said he became a very rebellious child and that he had an attitude with authority. He said he was really smart, but that his behavior was atrocious. The family settled in Atlanta, where he was in and out of juvenile court.
14, 15, I was facing 4 court cases. It's crazy, it was so long ago. But I was in high school and I had a weapons dangerous charge. I had a theft under charge. I had an extortion and robbery charge for nothing. I didn't even do anything. And just a whole other charge as well for weapons dangerous or whatever, some other charge. And it was just like, for me at that time, I remember being so stressed at one point that I was just like, there was one point I was like, I'm not even going to court no more. I just stopped going to court.
The family moved back to Ontario to live in his grandmother's home, but she refused to take Tory in, who was now 14, due to his behavior issues. A friend led him to an apartment where other kids with nowhere to go came and went. Everyone fended for themselves, and fights often broke out. He discovered Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G., and with no school to attend, he poured his energy into music. Starting in 2009, he released an unrelenting stream of material online. He took the stage name Tory Lanez, and before he was 20, he had a following. He alternated between singing and rapping and secured a place on Justin Bieber's tour. In 2016, he signed to a subsidiary of Interscope Records. His signature look was now a bare chest full of tattoos and layers of golden-hued medallions around his neck. That year, he scored top 40 hits with 2 of his poppiest songs. Between 2018 and 2020, Tory released 5 albums. They all charted highly, thanks in part to the counting of streaming in the formula for Billboard's album chart. But after 2016, he disappeared from the top 40. Tory and Megan commiserated over having lost their mothers. She said she was looking for people to fill the void created by losses of family members. In an emotionally wrought trial, she would later explain, in tears, how their friendship ended in an eruption of spite and gunfire.
Okay, it's September 14th, 2022. It's 11:30 in the morning. This is Deputy District Attorney Alexander Bott. I'm here with Deputy District Attorney Kathy Taw and DA Investigator Jody Little. We're here to interview witness Kelsey Harris.
As Tory Lanez's trial date neared in the fall of 2022, the prosecution team met with the second woman in the car that night, Kelsey Harris. The following are clips from that interview from the Street TV YouTube channel. We'll put a link to the interview in its entirety in the show notes.
Kelsey, why don't we just start with how did you come to know Megan Pete?
We met in college. We attended Purdue University together, and that's where we established our relationship.
So how long have you known her at the time of the incident in July of 2020? How many years do you think?
I would say roughly around 6 to 7 years.
And how would you describe the nature of your relationship? Were you friends? Were you work associates?
Yes, we were friends. And of course, you know, as she grew into her career as an artist, I came along as a assistant or a team player, best friend.
As Megan's mother was succumbing to cancer, she put her close friend and former classmate on her payroll. Kelsey is very business-minded, very organized, very on time, Megan once told Rolling Stone. I'm like, you should quit your job and be my assistant. Kelsey said that she was Megan's designated sidekick, and the managers, record label executives, and security staffers in Megan's orbit knew it.
I'm somebody that, you know, like, I know everything. I'm the first person. Her team's going to make sure I'm right there. Kelsey doesn't leave Megan's side. That's how we operate.
At the time of this interview, their friendship had deteriorated and soured into animosity over fallout from the high-profile shooting and disagreements about how to handle the rumors online. This complicated Kelsey's willingness to help the prosecution. Until this interview, she had not spoken to the district attorney's office.
I know we didn't get to talking to you until today.
Right. I just didn't want to didn't want to be involved. I didn't want to voluntarily put myself in a situation, and this girl's not backing me up at all.
Getting Kelsey to talk to prosecutors was critical for a few reasons. Megan's account was inconsistent. She had told police and ER doctors her injuries were from stepping on broken glass. This was not true. She then said publicly that she and Tory did not have a sexual relationship. That was also not true. In online posts and in lyrics, she talked of not being a snitch. And so they needed a more willing, less complicated eyewitness. And there was also what happened at the preliminary hearing. On December 14th, 2021, a Los Angeles Superior Court judge held a preliminary hearing to determine if the case should go forward. The LAPD detective who investigated the case testified. Tory's attorney, Sean Hawley, asked him if he had asked Megan how much she had to drink that day, and said that alcohol can impair a person's perception and their ability to recall. Hawley also claimed that Kelsey had a romantic interest in Tory and was jealous of Megan, who had backdoored her. Hawley made a reference to police body camera footage that seemed to show Tory saying he was trying to protect my girl. This seemed to be a preview of the defense's strategy, raised the possibility that Kelsey Harris shot Megan in a fit of romantic jealousy, and that Megan was too drunk to identify the shooter. This interview between Kelsey and the prosecution team was eventually uploaded to the YouTube channel Street TV.
And then what would you say was the relationship with Tory, between you, Megan, Tory, up until that night at least?
Everything was okay. There was no issues.
You're listening
the
to
relationship
Street TV.
between me and Tory, you know, it's one of those situations you flirt. This is somebody that Megan wanted me to, you know, I guess have an involvement with.
Kelsey said Megan encouraged her flirtation with Tory. Then Kelsey caught COVID-19 in the spring of 2020. She isolated and then recuperated in Houston. Like Megan, Kelsey grew up in the city. She returned to Los Angeles to move in with Megan. She didn't know the exact relationship between Megan and Tory at that time, but it seemed like they had become closer. Kelsey told prosecutors she was fine with that. In this interview with prosecutors, Kelsey gives a detailed account of the night of the shooting. It's the fullest one prosecutors had. She said they got an invitation to the home of Kylie Jenner. At about 6 p.m., Megan's stylist, E.J. King, drove them. A small crowd was hanging out around the pool.
We were all enjoying ourselves. Of course, we ended up into the pool, having fun, enjoying ourselves from there. Everybody's still having fun, drinking, consuming alcohol. That's kind of when the night just began to, I guess, go left a little.
At about 10 o'clock, Tory showed up. Kelsey said Megan was acting strangely.
You can hear at the end of the pool, Megan is just like laughing uncontrollably. And it wasn't normal. I never heard her laugh like this, so you can kind of tell something was wrong.
According to Kelsey, EJ, the stylist, tried to coax Megan into leaving several times. Kelsey sat in EJ's car, waiting for her.
And I was actually on FaceTime with my sister, and we were talking, just kind of one of those things like, girl, I can't believe we're here. We used to watch this growing up.
Yeah.
So, we're talking regular talk. And then so EJ says, Kelsey, tell Megan it's time to go. Her wig is coming off of her head. So at that point, it's like, okay, no, we have to go because her appearance isn't, it's not holding up correct.
Yeah.
So I went inside and I said, Megan, let's go. She didn't even know her wig was coming off. And I said, your wig. So that made her get up out the pool. So Tory stayed in with Kylie. So we come outside. This time, we're making our plans to leave. I guess at some point she tells EJ, no, Tory's taking us home.
The actual driving would be done by Jaquan Smith. He was Tory's all-around assistant. According to Kelsey, she and Megan went to Tory's car, but he didn't want to leave. Jaquan started driving the two women home, but Megan demanded they return. She said to retrieve a Louis Vuitton slipper she had left there.
We were on our way home, but she demanded the driver to take us back. And it wasn't because of a sandal. Tory was with Kylie still. Yeah. That's the real reason. She had, and I forgot to even throw that part in. That just made me remember. She had tried to get me mad. She was like, Kelsey, he wants to stay with Kylie. I'm like, okay, let him stay with Kylie.
Jaquan and Megan went back inside. They came out with Tory. When they left, Jaquan was driving. Megan was in the front passenger seat. Tory and Kelsey were in the back.
So we're leaving. We're driving, going down the road. Megan is laughing still. It's like an uncontrollable laugh. And just out of curiosity, I want to know what's funny. So I'm like, what is funny? Like, what is going on? And that's when Tory butts in. And he's like, yeah, Megan, why don't you tell your best friend what's so funny? Why don't you tell her how fake you are? And so I'm confused because this was random. And so I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? And Megan's like, Kelsey, don't listen to him. He's just trying to make you mad. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And, next thing you know, the arguing, began with Tory and Megan. They're arguing. They're taking jabs at each other. He's calling her out her name. He's calling her, I've never heard him speak like this.
Kelsey said he started using words like bitch and hoe. So Kelsey also shouted at him.
So now we're just going back and forth. It's like I'm going back and forth with him. He's going back and forth with Megan.
Kelsey said that Megan demanded to be let out of the car. She exited and sat at a bus stop. She said Tory then left the car, spoke to Megan briefly, and then the two came back in. Megan gave this account in an interview with CBS's Gayle King in April of 2022.
At that point, the argument wasn't even with me. The argument was with the two people in the backseat. So I asked the driver to pull the car over, I'm done with this. And I should have stayed out of the car. I should have not got back in the car. Mm-hmm. And they was like, Megan, just get back in the car. We almost there. Just get back in. Mm-hmm. So I get back in the car. It's it's getting worse.
The arguing in the car.
The arguing in the car is getting worse. And I don't want to be in this car no more. Because I see it's getting crazy.
Back to Kelsey's statement.
At this point, it's uncontrollable. Can't stop it.
And do you remember anything at this point that was being said between them?
At this point, they're arguing about each other's artistry as a career as an artist. She's telling him you're only this and that because you're on a remix with Jack Harlow. And he's telling her things about her career as an artist, which I can't remember what he was telling her, but they just started hitting each other with their career as an artist.
According to Kelsey, Tory told Jaquan to stop driving and demanded the two women get out of the car.
I get out of my side, and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off.
Here's Megan again in her interview with Gayle King.
Everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And I was so
is he
scared.
In the car, shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window, shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick, because I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me.
Were you afraid for your life at that time?
I was really scared because I had never been shot at before.
Megan said she looked down at her feet and saw she was bleeding. According to Kelsey, Megan then slumped into a driveway. She ran towards her.
She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know when I ran to her and she grabbed me, she had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding. That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark. Lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Kelsey said she tried to block Tory from getting closer to Megan, and they had a physical altercation. And then Jaquan picked her up, like a little doll, she said. According to Kelsey, Jaquan and Tory wrangled the women into the back seat, and Jaquan continued driving.
How is Megan looking at this point? Is she crying? Is she upset? Is she scared? Anything? Can you tell?
Megan I was screaming. I was tripping. I was having a panic attacks. Megan honestly was very calm. And that's what made me think that they had a conversation in the driveway where I don't know. That's my assumption, but she wasn't in distraught. I was in distraught more than her, sorry, that just upsets me.
It's okay.
That's okay.
I can get tissue, or if you need a break, just let me know, okay?
Kelsey said she frantically texted other people in their circle, telling them to call 911. One of the text messages, later presented at trial, read, "Help, Tory shot Meg." Residents of the neighborhood had reported hearing gunfire. Police caught up with the car.
Now the helicopter's over the vehicle and all the cops are behind us. And that's when,
And you can hear the sirens are going.
Sirens are going.
Is Tory saying anything
pull
else?
over. He is. He was saying things just please, y'all don't say anything, please. I'm about to sign a big deal or something, and I'll give both of you guys $1 million each. And I believe Megan's huh? We're like, what? But that was the end of that.
Megan has said the murder of George Floyd was fresh in her mind, and she was scared of the police. Here she is again during her interview with Gayle King.
I don't remember everything they said to me, but I remember them asking me what's happening, what happened to you. And I didn't want them to kill any of us or shoot any of us. Mm-hmm. So I just said I stepped on glass because I didn't
Why did you say that? Why didn't you say he shot me?
For some reason, I was just trying to protect all of us because I didn't want them to kill us. Even though this person just did this to me, my first reaction still was to try to save us.
Kelsey was taken to jail with Tory and Jaquan and was released after a few hours. She called a member of Megan's security detail, who took her back to Megan's house to change clothes, and then to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where Megan was. They were told Megan wasn't ready to see visitors.
This is a free call from
Tory?
an inmate at LAPD jail.
While they were parked outside the hospital, Kelsey received a call from Tory from jail. The audio of that call was later played in court.
Hello?
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and everything?
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything, y'all good?
Megan's still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
Tory told Kelsey that he was drunk and apologized.
I'm so fucking drunk. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever.
Yeah.
But, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro.
Prosecutors would later argue that this apology amounted to a confession.
I know. There's a lot that happened, but
A whole lot, bro. Like, a whole lot, bro. I feel crazy, bro. But
Kelsey returned to Megan's house. In the September 2022 interview, she told prosecutors she repeatedly asked her managers and gatekeepers to see Megan, but she seemed to be getting shut out. They kept telling her Megan couldn't have guests. According to Kelsey, she got a call from Desiree Perez, chief executive officer of Megan's record label, Rock Nation. She allegedly said Megan would probably not be working for a year. Kelsey said then maybe she should return to Houston. Perez called back and said the record label had found a flight that left in 2 hours. Kelsey negotiated for time to pack her belongings. She said she was still in shock, so it was difficult to process information and make decisions. She went to a hotel. There, she said, she received a call from Jaquan. He said Tory wanted to meet with her. Kelsey said she agreed, but only if they met in the garage of the hotel.
Mind you, this is somebody, me, Megan, and him. We were all friends up until that night. Mm-hmm. So although I was scared, and I still was like, let me hear him out. Mm-hmm. This night, it was a night gone bad. Mm-hmm. Alcohol was involved, and I know he regretted it. Mm-hmm. And so he was just apologetic. He said, Kelsey, she attacked me with my artistry. That's what really bothered him. And that's what he put emphasis on.
According to Kelsey, as the conversation progressed, Tory floated offers to her. He goes, can I invest in that? Or do you need a job? Do you want to work with me? And I'm like, huh? Why do I need to work with you? Tory, I'm sorry, but no, I don't want any correlation with you. And he said, do you need me to get you a lawyer? And I said, I don't need you to do anything for me, Tory. Like, why do I need you to get me a lawyer? Yeah. And he goes, well, can I, what's something that you want? What's something you want to do? Like, do you want to invest into a business? And I'm like, huh? Kelsey said she refused everything, even Tory's request for a hug. After he left, she continued contacting Megan's managers. And finally, I think I sent like a long message, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, me and Megan should be moving as a unit. Like, why am I being kind of pushed out? Y'all told me to move. Where am I supposed to go home to? Mm-hmm. Megan had asked me to get rid of my apartment, and that's what I did. She finally got a call from Megan. And she's like, Kelsey, find a place to stay in Houston. I'm going to pay it up for a year. And I said, I said, Megan, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. She said, I'm going to be down for a year. Like, Kelsey, I can't walk. Summarily dismissed, Kelsey returned to Houston. Tory and Megan had both built up huge followings online. Kelsey herself had 200,000 Instagram followers. In the days after the incident, armies of stans were speculating online, slinging accusations. A few high-profile people, including Cameron and 50 Cent, posted or reposted jokes about Megan that they later apologized for. According to Kelsey, she and Megan had a conflict about how to approach the online rumors, one that escalated. On June 15th, Megan released a statement on Instagram, reading in part, "I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me." Kelsey was upset that the post didn't clarify that she wasn't the shooter, a rumor that had been circulating. Kelsey said Megan later messaged her, asking her to make a statement on Instagram, accusing Tory of the shooting. Kelsey's newly hired lawyer was against it. He said those kinds of statements shouldn't be made on social media. Megan was livid when she found out that Kelsey had met with Tory hours after the shooting. She then characterized Kelsey's silence as complicity with Tory, with hush money as a possible motive. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Megan said, "All I know was, from that day on, she never said nothing else about the whole situation online." As the year continued, 2020 offered more career highs for Megan. WAP, her collaboration with Cardi B, became a global smash hit. She gave an acclaimed performance on an October episode of Saturday Night Live. She completed work on her first proper album, Good News, released that November. The opening track, Shots Fired, was a searing takedown of Tory and also Kelsey. In it, she says, "You offered M's not to talk. I guess that made my friend excited. Now y'all in cahoots, huh?" There were also insults launched at Kelsey, the least vulgar of which was, "I'm a steak, you a side plate, shrimp, stay in your place." This is Kelsey on Instagram Live.
"You made me your enemy. I have every right to get on here and address this because you made a diss track for millions of people to hear trying to humiliate me. And I'm not hurt by the comments. I'm not hurt by any of that. But when it's coming from somebody that you really know, that's the problem. And Megan, I know you. We know each other. I know you like the back of my hand. So I don't know why you playing with me."
Kelsey had told prosecutors that testifying seemed like the best way to finally clear her name.
This trial will be an opportunity for everybody to speak their truth.
To finally speak the truth. And that's what I'm happy for. And that's the other thing. Like, now I'll be able to really open up and help the public because now they're involved, understand why me and Megan are friends. Yeah. She's not going to hold herself accountable. She doesn't ever hold herself accountable to things.
And Tory needs to be held accountable.
And he needs to be held accountable too. Both of them.
People wanted a direct explanation. I remember you went live a few times, and I even said, yo, Tory, bro, you know what they're saying? Just answer the fucking question. Just definitively say and clear whatever you need to clear to make sure people don't look at you a certain way.
That's from the podcast from DJ Academics. He specializes in long, revealing interviews with rappers. On October 4th, 2022, 2 months before the trial, his guest was Tory Lanez.
It's as simple as 3 words, brother. Time and place. There's going to be a time and a place for that.
The most definitive statement Tory made about the case was a surprise album released in September of 2020 before he was charged. He mentioned the incident in nearly every song. Most of them accused Megan of lying. A Facebook post shared among his supporters claimed falsely that the court had determined that Tory's DNA was not found on the gun. It was spread so widely that PolitiFact stepped in to discredit it. Tory entered a plea of not guilty, but in that podcast, he seemed to realize the severity of his situation.
You don't seem too stressed, man.
Like, I'm facing 24 years. I'm making shit look beautiful, don't I? But guys, I am actively facing 24 years next month.
Wow.
On December 13th, 2022, Megan Thee Stallion, wearing a purple suit and her hair in a bob, took the stand in a downtown Los Angeles courtroom during Tory's trial. She said she didn't feel good about being there and that she couldn't believe she had to do this. She reportedly cried several times during her testimony. Tory, dressed in a cream-colored suit, sat at the defense table taking notes. This is from ABC 7 Los Angeles.
She testified she got out of the SUV, turned around, and saw Lanez with a gun. She claims he said dance and then an expletive, and she says she then felt pain and was bleeding. She claims Lanez offered her $1 million not to say anything because he was on probation.
The defense would point out that Tory was not actually on probation, however. When asked why she had publicly lied about their sexual relationship, Megan said, "Because it's disgusting at this point. How could I share my body with someone who could do this to me?" Outside were crowds of supporters. Some carried signs that read, "We stand with Megan." Others were there for Tory. Tory's lawyer, George McDessian, talked to the press and gave an account of the incident that did not match the one given by Megan, or the one that Kelsey had given to prosecutors.
The defense says this case is all about jealousy.
He's been waiting for this for 2.5 years. He wants the people to know the truth.
They claim it might have been a former girlfriend of Lanez, Kelsey Harris, who was in the SUV, who actually shot the gun.
There was some conversation in a vehicle where my client disclosed that he had been sleeping with both of Kelsey and Megan knew this, and a fight ensued.
Kelsey also took the stand at Tory's trial. She was supposed to be the prosecution's star witness. Instead, she put their case into a tailspin. This is ABC 7 again.
Megan Thee Stallion's former best friend and assistant, Kelsey Harris, took the stand today. When she got there, she was granted immunity. And her testimony seemed to leave prosecutors frustrated because she answered almost every question with, quote, "I honestly don't remember."
When she entered the courtroom, Kelsey tried to assert her Fifth Amendment right not to testify because it could be self-incriminating. Judge David Harryford held a morning meeting with lawyers from all sides to sort that out. Because the prosecution had granted Kelsey immunity, he said nothing she said could lead to criminal charges. She had to testify. In sharp contrast to her vivid, detailed interview conducted just 3 months prior, Kelsey told the court she couldn't remember much of that night. She seemingly dodged questions from Kathy Ta, the same prosecutor who had co-led that September interview, by saying, "I honestly don't remember." "The night was a blur," she said. "We were under the influence." She denied seeing Tory shoot the gun. She denied seeing Megan fall over bleeding. She denied remembering that Corey had attempted to make offers to her the day after the shooting. "What's going on with you today?" Prosecutor Ta asked. "What happened between September and today?" Kelsey said it was a mix of anxiety, postpartum issues, and grief related to the death of someone close to her that made it difficult for her to remember details. She interrupted several lines of questioning by saying that she was zoning out right there on the witness stand. She did admit that after she and Megan met Tory, she first had a relationship with him that was more than a friendship. Prosecutor Ta asked if Kelsey remembered Tory asking Megan, "Why aren't you telling your friend about us?" Kelsey said this was true. "He's just saying that they had a relationship. They were having a relationship," she said. "An argument ensues and just continues. Me and her are arguing about her disloyalty." This was different from her account recorded in September. Kelsey had never said she and Megan were in conflict or that the argument was about Megan's relationship with Tory. Prosecutor Ta played parts of that interview several times to refresh Kelsey's memory, but Kelsey insisted. On the day she was testifying, she could barely remember anything about the actual shooting, except that she did not commit it. "I mean, it's ridiculous, she said of that idea. Prosecutor Ta then asked, "Meg didn't shoot herself, did she?" Kelsey replied, "I don't think so, no." "Did Jaquan shoot Meg?" "No." "Did you shoot Meg?" Kelsey clicked her tongue and said, "No." Prosecutor Ta then asked, "Who does that leave?" When the judge called a recess, NPR reporter Gabby Bulgarelli claimed she saw Kelsey mouth the word stupid. Judge Hereford allowed Kelsey's September interview to be played for the jury in its entirety. A witness called by the defense also didn't go as anticipated. Sean Kelly is the owner of the home outside where Megan was shot. He was also one of the first people to make a 911 call. Under direct testimony from defense attorneys, he said it seemed that all three of the other people were assaulting Megan, who he said was in a fetal position. He also said he heard about 4 or 5 gunshots that seemed to be coming from Tory. He described Tory as seeming very angry. But when asked, whose hand did you see the flashes from first, he said, the girl, but they were all together. They were very close together. On December 23rd, after 2 days of deliberations, the jury had a verdict.
Assault with a semi-automatic firearm, guilty. Having a concealed firearm in a vehicle that's not registered, guilty. And discharge of a firearm with gross negligence, guilty.
This is ABC7's Christiane Cordero.
There was no reaction from Tory Lanez right when the verdicts were read, but then as soon as the judge dismissed the jury, his father actually stood up in the courtroom and yelled, pointing, looking at prosecutors, saying, "You two are evil, you are wicked," and a lot of other inaudible things. It lasted about a minute or so with his father standing up and his father's wife standing up. Of course, extremely emotional now that his son is facing 22 years, a maximum of 22 years in prison, and was taken away in handcuffs in front of his children 2 days before Christmas.
Sentencing was originally scheduled for January 27th, but has been delayed until the end of February due to Tory changing attorneys. In the years leading up to the trial, and even in the weeks after, people in hip-hop and adjacent worlds and genres had taken sides. In the hospital, Megan received flowers from Beyoncé and Rihanna. Big Sean, 2 Chainz, SZA, and Dua Lipa appeared on her albums. She won awards at nearly every major music award ceremony in 2021. Many music journalists refused to review Tory's 2020 album, in which he continuously accused her of lying, and only one artist collaborated as a featured artist on a track. But some podcasts dedicated to hip-hop dissected Megan's behavior, including DJ Academic's Off the Record, My Expert Opinion, and the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden later apologized. While in court, Megan spoke about the mental anguish caused by all the attention. She said, "Because I was shot, I've been turned into some kind of villain, and he's the victim. This has messed up my whole life. The hip-hop industry," she said, "is like a big boys club. I can't even be happy," she said through tears. "I can't hold conversations with people for a long time. I don't feel like I want to be on this earth. I wish he would have just shot and killed me if I knew I would have to go through this torture." Kelsey has said that the incident has isolated her. She can't escape a cloud of suspicion in Houston, the hometown she shares with Megan. This is from her interview with prosecutors.
Sometimes I don't even like to go around people because I don't know how they feel about me. Sometimes I don't even present myself as Kelsey because, "Oh, you're the girl that took hush money." Like, I've had people come up to me. Right? I don't go to grocery stores. I've been to a dollar store and got pinned in a corner. People come up to me, "You took hush money." Like, she has made it real difficult.
And that's all for this episode. As always, I'd love to know what you think about this case. You can let me know by joining the conversation on Instagram at CourtJunkie, by tweeting me at CourtJunkiePod, or by emailing me at podcast@courtjunkie.com. This episode was researched by Nicole Gusmerotti and written by Nick Keppler and Matt Stroud. If you'd like to hear these episodes without the ads, hear additional Court Junkie bonus episodes, and receive our weekly newsletter covering the most fascinating court cases of the week, please check out our Patreon options at courtjunkie.com/support. And don't forget to check out Court Junkie's sister podcast, Civil, which covers cases that go through our civil court system. Search for Civil Court Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for listening. Until next time.